botany class. What are we going to learn in today's class? For the past few classes we have been studying about the lesson called plant cells, right? In our previous class in botany we have studied about the cell organelles like Golgi bodies, mitochondria and lysosomes and ribosomes we have studied. So today we are going to continue with a few more organelles and some other parts of the plant cell. Clear? So let's get started. Today's class will be about 4 topics. One is about centrosomes. The next one is about vacuoles. The next part is about chromosomes. And the last one will be about the organelle chloroplasts. So what all are we going to learn in today's class? Centrosomes, vacuoles, chromosomes and chloroplasts. So first we will start with centrosomes. What are centrosomes? See, this structure is the centrosome structure. This is the structure of centrosomes. What are the properties of centrosomes? Where can you find centrosomes in a cell? In a cell, usually the centrosomes is restricted only to animal cells. Only in animal cells you can find centrosomes. In plant cells there are no centrosomes. Usually centrosomes in animal cells are found close to the nucleus. Where you can see the centrosomes in a cell? Wherever you have the nucleus is usually in the center of the cell, no? Near the nucleus you can find centrosomes. Like this a structure you can see. Clear? Then it is near the nucleus and it does not have membrane. Can you see any outer membrane in these two structures? No, right? So there is no outer covering. What is a membrane? A membrane is usually an outer covering. Say for example, if there is a cell has a cell wall, right? If this is a cell, it has a cell membrane covering the cell or a cell wall, right? So if there is a membrane or outer covering, then you call it as a membrane. Can you find any membranous structure here? No, right? There is no membranous structure in a centriole. So a centriole does not have any membrane. Then what else? There are 2 cylindrical bodies. What are the 2 cylindrical bodies? This is one cylindrical body and this is one more cylindrical body. So totally there are 2 cylindrical bodies and these 2 cylindrical bodies are called as centrioles. So the total structure together is called centrosome and this is a centriole and this is one more centriole. So 2 centrioles together make centrosome. These terms you should be clear. So this is a centriole, this is a centriole and these 2 centrioles are placed at right angles to each other. What is a right angle? Right angle means it is placed like 90 degrees to each other. So this one centriole is placed at 90 degrees to other centrioles. So it is placed at right angles. Always 2 centrioles will be at right angles to each other and together they are called as centrosome. This you have to keep in mind. Then what is the function? Why you need a centriole inside a cell? The centriole is responsible for the formation of spindle fibers in cell division. What is this spindle fiber? You must have studied about binary fission all, no? It is a cell division process. So during this process there will be one parent nucleus and finally it will become like 2 nucleus, right? Do you remember the process of binary fission? What is that? Suppose if there is a cell, there will be a nucleus first and during binary fission what happens? This single nucleus will be split into 2 nuclei, right? So one will become 2 nuclei and they fibers will be involved, like there will be like spindle fiber formation during the cell division, about which you will be learning in your higher grades. But for the formation, just keep in mind, for the formation of spindle fibers during cell division, which one is responsible? The centrosomes play an important role. So it is very important process during the cell division or nuclear division process. So this you have to keep in mind. So what all have we studied about centrosomes? They are present only in animal cell. They do not have any outer membrane or outer covering. So there is no membrane. Always centrosomes are present near the nucleus, almost in the center of the cell. There are two cylindrical bodies called as centrioles, and they are placed at right angles to each other, and their function is the formation of spindle fibers, which is responsible in cell division process. So this all you should remember about the centrosomes. Then the next part of the cell, what we are going to learn is about the vacuole. Vacuole, if you see, mostly it is prominent in a plant cell. Why I call it as prominent? Because plant cells always have a very big vacuole. So here, which is the vacuole here? This is the vacuole. So this blue portion is the vacuole, and this is a plant cell. I have told you several times how will you differentiate that it is a plant cell. First of all, if it is a colored picture, it will be shown in green color if it is a plant cell, and then also you will have like this endings all you can see in a plant cell, which you don't see in animal cell. Like this you will be having, and mostly they are rectangular or shape if it is a plant cell, and it would be circular in shape if it is a animal cell. Okay, so this is a plant cell, and this has a very large vacuole which is shown in blue color. What are the other properties of vacuole? It is membrane bound. I told you this has a membrane. How will you know there is a membrane? This vacuole, it is shown blue in color because it is filled with a fluid. If there is a fluid, imagine if there is nothing outside to cover the fluid, what will happen? It will just flow away somewhere, no? If it has a shape, it means it has a membrane or a covering inside. Suppose if you are going to fill in a balloon with water, the water will get the shape, it will be appearing bigger, as well as the balloon's covering will be protecting the water from oozing out, right? It will just stay inside, as well as the balloon will get the shape of the water. How much you pour, it will get the size and the shape. Similarly, here also you have a outer membrane, and inside you have the liquid. Okay, so it is membrane bound. It has a membrane first. It is fluid filled. It has a fluid, and what you have inside the fluid, there are dissolved substances. Certain substances of the cell are dissolved inside this fluid. Then it is large in plant. This is a plant cell, and that's why the vacuole is very big, so that it just pushes the nucleus towards the end. Usually, where is the nucleus? If it is an animal cell, you can find one big nucleus in the center of the cell. But in the case of the plant cell, always nucleus is pushed towards the outer membrane, because the vacuole occupies majority of the cell, because the vacuole is very big in size. And in animals, animal cell, the vacuoles are very small in size, but they are more in number. In plant cell, you have only one, and it is very big. And in animal cell, you have many vacuoles, but they are very small in size. Then what is the function of vacuole? Why you need such a big vacuole inside a plant cell? Its function is to store the dissolved substances. Those dissolved substances may be a sugar, or it may contain certain minerals present in a plant, or it will also have water. So dissolved sugar, minerals and water are the three major contents that will be present inside a vacuole. So what we have studied about the vacuole? First of all, vacuoles are membrane bound. It has a membrane, and inside that only you have the fluid, and the fluid will have substances which has mostly and vacuole is one large vacuole in a plant cell and many small vacuoles in animal cells. So this is about vacuoles. Next, we learn about the chromosomes. Have you heard this word chromosomes? Where are the chromosomes? Chromosomes are structures present inside the nucleus. Have you heard about genes? Gene is a bit of a chromosome. Okay, just remember chromosomes and genes are somewhat similar. Okay, so where are the genes? Genes are inside the nucleus of every cell. So how many pair of chromosomes do human beings have? Human beings have 23 pair of chromosomes. How many pairs? 23 pairs. One pair is 2, right? So 23 pairs means 46 chromosomes human beings have. So every human being will have, you and me, how many chromosomes we have? 23 pairs of 46 chromosomes we have. Then how is the gender differentiated? How is the sex differentiated? Like who is a male and who is a female? All of us have the same 46 chromosomes or what? No. A male will have 22, both male and female will have 22 pairs of chromosomes similar, like both male or female will have the same type of eyes, right? Same type of nose. So these 22 chromosomes or 22 pairs of chromosomes will code for the other characters except for the gender characters. Only the one pair of chromosome will decide the gender. So 22 pairs of chromosomes will characterize other body characters and one pair of chromosomes will characterize the sex or the gender of the human being. How is that? Say for example, in a female you have this 23rd pair, you have XX. What did I tell you? Already 22 pairs are the same in male. It is same in both male or female. Male and female will have same pairs of, like same characteristics of chromosomes of 22 pairs. What about the 23rd pair? The 23rd one, if it is a male, if a man is a, if the chromosome is for a man, okay? If the chromosome is for a man, it will be XY. I'm talking about the one pair. Apart from this 22, you have one pair, no? In that one pair, pair means 2. This is 1, this is 2. So for a man, this is X and Y. Okay? For a man or a male, it is X and Y. For a female, it is X and X. For a woman or a female, it is X and X. So for a man, XY, female, XX. This is going to be your homework. So please listen to it carefully and you are going to draw the same chart for your homework also. Okay. So what did I tell you? This is about the 23rd pair. 22 are same for male and female. The 23rd pair, the gender determination chromosome will be different for male and female. How it will be for female? XX, and for male it will be XY. Okay, I'm sorry, it will be XY. So how is the gender of the next generation determined? Say for example, this is the mother. All mothers will obviously have XX, right? And all fathers will have XY. So what will be the gender of the baby? The probability of gender in the next generation. It will be like this. First step is this and this. Probability means what are all the possibilities for the next generation. So this will be X and X, which is XX. And this combination will be X and Y. You can also tell as Y and X. So if you consider this first, it will be YX. If you consider this first, it will be XY. Both means the same. gender to arise. Okay, it can either be, if this and this combine, it will be XX. If this and this combine, again it will be XX. If this and this combine, it will be XY. And if this and this combine also, it will be XY. Again I told you, if you find a XX chromosome in a human being, it means it is a female. If this combination is going to happen from a mother and a father, then the child will be a female child. I'll write F. Okay, so it will be a female child. And if this combination is going to happen, it will be a male child. And if this combination is going to happen, it will be a female child. And if XY is going to happen, it is going to be a male child. So this is how the gender is determined in the next generation. So if this combination happens, it will be male or female. That is how a gender or sex is determined in the next generation. This is just a probability. So from a father and mother, the probability, if you see, 50% can be female and 50% can be male. So the probability or chances of getting a gender in the next generation is 50%. So for your homework, draw this and send me. Okay, draw this chart and send me. This is the probability chart for gender determination. So this is about the chromosomes. So in today's class, one more you are going to learn about chloroplast. You have studied about chloroplast already. However, here in the structure of the cell also, just we revise about the chloroplast. What is the color of chloroplast? Wherever you see the picture of chloroplast, it is always green in color, right? Why it is green in color? Because it has a pigment called as chlorophyll, and that pigment is green in color. That's why the chlorophyll is also always represented in green color. What does this chlorophyll does? What is the function of the chlorophyll? Because of the presence of chlorophyll, this one only will trap the light energy. It will draw the light energy from the sun, that is the solar energy, and convert it into chemical energy. So what is the conversion happening here? Light energy is converted into chemical energy, and this process is the photosynthesis process. When this is happening during the process of photosynthesis. Where all it will happen? It will happen in plants, not only in the leaves but also stem. You must have seen some stems are green in color. No? The younger ones all will be green in color. So they also can carry out photosynthesis. It is not only the leaves. If the stem, until the stem is green in color, it will also carry out photosynthesis. So in the plant, in green plants, both leaves and stem will carry out photosynthesis. And also there are algae called green algae which will also carry out photosynthesis. So what have we studied about chloroplast? Chloroplasts are green in color because of a green pigment called as chlorophyll. And what is the function of chloroplast or chlorophyll? They trap the solar energy and convert them into chemical energy during the process of photosynthesis. And it happens in plants, in the leaves and in the stem, and also in the green algae. So this is for today's class, and I gave you a homework in the previous class, no? So here Griffin, Ashmika, Aharna and Amisha have completed the homework. So very good. And for right from today's class, no, every student should send me the homework, whatever I give you. No, today's homework is, what did I give you? Draw the XX and XY gender probability chart and send me. Okay, it is not in your textbook. I have shown you. You will be learning more about this in your higher grades. You just draw the chart and send me. It is going to help you somewhere when you grow up. Okay, so